My name is Faith Bailey, and I'm doing my presentation on the article An Evaluation of the Implementation of Ignition Interlocking California. When I had first saw the name Ignition Interlock, I honestly was confused and didn't realize what it was until I looked it up, and then I realized what it was. Um, it is a handheld breathalyzer that is installed into people's cars when they get like DUIs or DWIs or something like that involving alcohol. And it tests their alcohol levels. And if there is alcohol detected, the car won't start, but if it is, then it will. I also added a picture in this next slide. So the whole point of the article, in California, they were trying to figure out why the ignition interlocks were not successful. They had looked at like other states, and some were more successful than others, but in California they were having like problems with it. So the whole point was to figure out why. So they decided that they would conduct 3 different studies across the state that was focused on the ignition interlocks to see if they could try to figure out what was going on. So in the first study, they were focusing on DUI arrest samples across the state. They focused on the police agencies, and they went for a whole year looking at that. They also looked at the arrests for DUIs and took info from the DMV to look at the driving records of the people convicted. And then finally, they went to the ignition interlock companies to see the installations of them and to see if the people completed them. In the second study, they focused on counting the ignition interlock orders. They focused on court orders for the IIDs and DUIs. They then made this computer program that kind of helps them look at large amounts of cases, and they looked over it for a year. This helped them see like trends and how often it was happening and who was doing what all over California. In the third study, they focused on the judges and district and city attorneys and offenders that were involved in DUI cases. They made a survey and mailed them out asking questions related to ignition interlocks. The response rate consisted of 76% were attorneys, 56% were judges, and 47% were offenders. In study 1, the results, they found that out of the 5,061 drivers, 887 were convicted of a driving while under the influence offense or DUI or something like that. Out of the 887 drivers, 39 were received an order and 83 received an IID order. Out of the 83, only 18 complied with the order and successfully completed it. It showed them there was reporting problems between the DMV and courts. It also showed that a large portion of drivers did not receive an IID order when they should have. Study 2's results, they found that 24%, or about 619 court orders of DUI drivers, were convicted to use IIDs. This number is very low because in California, if you are convicted of a DUI, you are supposed to be ordered a IID. They also found not many counties in California were enforcing them like they should be. Study 3's results, they found that many judges and attorneys believed that the ignition interlock orders were not being forced enough. 85% of attorneys in California stated they thought IIDs were very effective, and then 69% of judges agreed with them. As far as the offenders, 88% said that the IID orders changed their drinking habits tremendously and helped them stop drinking as much. In conclusion, they still have like quite a bit to go. They've come up with many programs, and they've started funding it more for people that can't afford it, because that was also a problem, is people couldn't afford the IEDs, and that's why they didn't go through with them. They also they started enforcing them more in courts. As of 2018, if someone reoffends or is a first-time DUI offender, they're required to install an IED for 12 to 48 months. And that is all I have. Thank you.